The Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge presents an international homeschool program that offers African heritage, biology, astronomy, language arts, yoga, and much more. Our classes are created with the young ones in mind, and we cater to youths from kindergarten to high school. Children love our colorful and very animated lessons, while parents recommend it to friends and family. Contact us for a free preview and see for yourself why investing in the International Homeschool Program will be of great benefit to you and your young ones. Bless you. The first Winds and Saints. Wonderful program we were listening to there. And of course, giving thanks for that connection between, the oneness of Marcus, Mosiah, Garvey, and Haile Selassie the First. And even what the brother said there, Brother Kush TV was saying there a moment ago, how it's important for us to really look at the whole heavens and understand that we're living in a time where we got to, realize the evolution of even Rastafari too, and the growth of Rastafari as our father is an individual that believes in growth, that believes in evolution, that believes in taking the thing to another level. So, yeah, man, we're definitely thankful for that vibes. Yes, family. So, as I said, give thanks for your patience this evening, as we were having a little difficulty and still having it to put it on a straightforward level there. But it's all right. That kind of
the friends that we have, the people who will be
what we got to do here, and to make sure that everything is, right and correct with you this evening. All right. Yeah. Let me see. What I want to talk about this evening is a subject area that many ones may not want to discuss. They may not mind listening to it. And even if they listen to it, they may want to listen to it in the privacy of the comfort of their own, space. Because it's something ones do not discuss that much. But it is something that is around in every space, in every corner, anywhere you can think. Now, the subject area that I'm going to look at this evening, I am going to look at it not from a level of condemnation, not at all, but a level of looking at it from its natural aspect and dealing with it in a way in which most of us, for whatever reason, we are afraid to deal with. Certain subjects, we don't want to talk about. If you say, let's talk about domestic abuse. If you say, let's talk about domestic abuse, you'd see how many people step back like, well, nah, we're not interested in that one there. When it is something that affects many of us. I want to talk about this evening the serious subject of temptation and lust. Yeah. And when I say temptation and lust, I am speaking on the level of human sexuality. So obviously this means that we cannot be addressing this thing here as if it is sin or evil or God forbidden we're talking about now. Because somewhere in the back of the minds of many, there's something wrong with sexual intercourse. And even when you realize, it can't be, all wrong. Still somewhere lurks in the mind that this is the original sin and it's dirty and something, and you are ashamed of your sexuality, which that is a big problem. You should never be ashamed of your sexuality. You see, even the conversation sounds strange. Why? Because we are ashamed of our sexuality. Akhenaten was not ashamed at all of his sexuality. Very proud of it. His femininity also oozed out in the hieroglyphs, Akhenaten. Because this is why, in some cases, the term gender is replaced by the word sex. So sex becomes a verb to some degree and a noun. If I have the grammar a bit mixed up, well, forgive me, but you see, one is doing and one is labeling. Right. We are sexual creatures. Creation in a sexual environment. We were created by sexual intercourse. It was semen that was released from our father, our biological father, filled with sperm that went up the vaginal canal and battled their way to the closest point until one made it touch the egg that was in the womb of your mother, all of our mothers. And then life or conception took place and life began in the womb, and here we are. So it is sexual intercourse that brought us here. Are you with me? If you have children, grandchildren, all of that is sexual intercourse. And it's not every time you do it, somebody is born. So for the amount of people you see, you could imagine how many tribes took place to make them. In some cases, it's just a one-off thing, but the point is, it's sexual intercourse that has everyone around, animals too. Even in the plants, talks about the gender of the parts of the plants and the different types of pollination and sexual activities that take place in both flora and fauna. Now, so we all come to that understanding that it is just natural by nature, by God's design, let's say, that human beings and other beings attract to each other naturally to create more of the same. Now, listen to this, please. You don't necessarily have to convince human beings or any other beings that they need to come together and do this. In the animal world, reproduction is somewhat considered an instinct of survival. And I would agree, obviously, when you reproduce, you are continuing your species. So with the urge to survive, with the urge to continue, with the urge to live on, yes, there will be that urge as well, that direction to sexual intercourse, to bring forth the life, the next generation to come. But I'm saying, and I'm speaking as a human being, and I'm speaking as a man, that most times when intercourse takes place, it's not necessarily because the participants want to have a child. In fact, in the case of the human race, let me repeat, in the case of the human race, they have designed and devised all sorts of apparatus and all sorts of different things to block eggs, to block sperm, to turn back the clock, to destroy what is already made. Why would you do that? What would get in your mind that there is a natural process to create life and you want to stop the life from being created? Well, if you don't want the life to be created, well, don't do it. Huh? What do you say? If you do not want the life to be created, don't do it. And after making that statement, we realize that this is more than just wanting to procreate. Because even those who don't want to procreate make sure that they find time to do it and create all sorts of different ways and means to make sure life is not created, even to the point that when it's created, find a way to take it out. So why do it then? Because it feels good. Even when it's not done correctly. And there's just a moment of sensation. Again, to the participant, it feels good. And to be honest, man, the coming together of a male and a female, human beings, is supposed to be such a spiritual, blissful experience. To be honest, most of what people think feel good, they've never ever experienced feel good yet. Because most of us have never entered that zone with a spiritual mind. How many times before you have sex that you and the partner that you're going to do that with kneel down and say a prayer? I hope the program is not too heavy for you. I would not. What? Children, but my children listening, look they here. Am I saying something wrong? You see, that's our problem. Oh, no, don't talk about this in front of the children. As if somebody not going to talk about that in front of your children for you. You don't talk about it in front of your children. And see what happens. In fact, you know what happened, because most of us, our parents didn't talk about this in front of us. They never even really talk about this. Do they know about this? Because they haven't been taught this neither. Remember, we're coming out of slavery. Classes were not put together for this. Somewhere along the generations, we have to figure this thing out and say, hey, let's look at this thing properly. So it's obvious, the moral of the story, the point is, it's obvious that the sexual cry and sexual call within human being is a very much living entity all to itself. It can be equated in certain instances to hunger. It's an urge, something that you need to be satisfied. Hunger. You forget everything because you need food. People kill for food. Eh? People steal for food. When you hungry and then your offspring hungry, it's as if you feel their hunger too. So you would even go out of your way to do something you don't even want to do. Hey, listen, brother, I'm sorry, but I got some youths home that need some food, so you better empty your pocket out. That's hunger for you, eh? The sexual energy is so strong. Eh? Listen to me. The sexual energy is so strong that a hungry man would forget about food. When that presents itself. You know I'm not lying. You were hungry. When I say hungry, I don't mean feasting, as we say in Rasta. I mean hungry. Famished. And then she presents herself. You forget about food, at least until you're done. There's a video that Michael Jackson did for the song, Who Is It? You know the song? Who is it? Is it a friend of mine? Who is it? Is it my brother? Who is it? Something or the other. Yeah, nice sounding song. You know the song. Okay. You check the video. And in the video, there's this woman who, she keeps changing her identity, wig, all kind of thing. And she just goes from place to place and I guess indulge with men. And somehow she leaves with a lot of money. So it's a kind of espionage, kind of spy story in the video. But in the video, she visited a crippled man. Oh, I wish you would have seen this video. Those of you who know it, or check it out when you get the chance. Michael Jackson, Who Is It? At the end of the video, or close to the end, the woman visits a crippled man. The song going, ding, 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 ding. And she comes in the room for the crippled man. She comes to the estate because the crippled man is a money man, and he is in his wheelchair waiting for her. And she comes through the gates. The guards let her in. I think she go up the elevator and she walks in the room. And in the video, you see him looking out the window. I think he sees her in a reflection, and he turns around. This man cannot walk in. And she just derobe in front of him. You see the robe drop to the ground. And then you see him put his hands on the arms of the wheelchair. And slowly but surely get up. Now, you may analyze that all sorts of different ways. Oh, he was faking. Oh, he's and all that. Man, listen, it's a movie in a sense. It's a music video. It's acted, really. It's really acted. The actor can walk. But the message, The message ain't really that far-fetched. I know it sounds a little bit fantastic, but you don't understand the power of sexual energy. It may sound a bit far-fetched, but I don't find that. Listen, I'm speaking again as a man. I don't find that impossible. I don't know exactly what would make him be in the wheelchair. You have different reasons for being in a wheelchair. They have different reasons why you cannot walk. There are cases where it's possible that you will walk again. You never know. Sexual energy is a healing energy. What are you talking about? We don't know we good. If you understood the power of intercourse, you'd never wear no rubbers on your penis. And you as a sister wouldn't allow nobody to come and put no plastic inside of you. But you see, as I said, what are we talking about tonight? Temptation and lust. Family, I can take a drama chalice hour. Let me take a drama, man. Just give me a chance. Let me take a drama. Let me take a drama. Today they had not today. This year, pardon me, there was the Uhuru African Socialist Party was, well, they've always been demonstrating against the American government and how they deal with the understanding of the war in Ukraine, etc., etc. You know, so I was just looking at a bit of that before coming in. I said I would share a bit of that while I take the job, but no, I don't want to share that. Just be with your brother. Let me take this drama. Nice and cool session, you know. Give thanks for your presence with us this evening. You know, this is what we call mellow moods. You know, I know sometimes we may sound like we're kicking a fire, but trust me, family, you know your brother, this is me, eh? Mellow and mellow and mellow. King Selassie, Jah, Rastafari, Chalice. You hear it bubbling? Ooh, oh yeah. Yeah, man, you should come and join us here in Antigua for the winter solstice experience in December. Let us sup some chalice together. Where are you know, come sup some chalice with Anna and Green Castle Hill. We'd really open the heavens, man. Yeah. Yes, family. So, what I'm saying, because see, a lot of us never get these teachings in. You understand? Do you know how many of us? Let me tell you one of the biggest secrets. This is one of the biggest secrets in the world. This is going to sound like you're going to hear the dishes drop when I say this. This is one of the biggest secrets. There's enough people into pornography. Enough people you know. Enough people you go around every single day. You work with, you think all sorts of people. I ain't say you, you know. Yeah. Don't turn off the radio now. Hey, don't turn off the radio. I can see the stats. I can see the analytics, you know, man. I see people running it. Yeah, I can see the analytics, as they call it. I can see how much people listening and where you're listening from. Don't run from it. Don't run. I tell you, run, they're running. Do not run. Do not run. Don't be afraid of yourself now. Don't punk out on me. Don't be punking out on me. Straight up. You're going to wake me up now. Come on, man. You see, this is our problem. We are afraid of ourselves. I say there's enough people into pornography. Judgment. What do you think going on in the world? What is searched for more on the internet than pornography? So you want to tell me 20 of us in the room and we're talking and as whatever you are, Rastafari, holy men, whatever, you're going to tell me that within the midst of that, they ain't got some serious freaks. But it's quiet as kept. It's like a woman on her period. Woman will come out and no. You have to live in some sort of African compound, Well, yes, the daughters, them in there, they're on the cycle, so they have the red flag up, but not in this world. No, man. You see them every day, whether they're selling you juice, food, in the bank, whatever, and they're in the red zone, they ain't gonna tell you that. I ain't saying it's a business in a sense, but it's quiet as kept. That's what I'm saying. Enough people live in some different life that's quiet as kept. You don't know what's going on when the lights lock off in the night. You just see them in the day. I ain't mocking nobody or watching nobody business. I'm just showing you the reality of the world. Because when you're into pornography, you're into other things too, It don't stop there, Nobody just put it on and watch it and then go sleep, You follow me? So how it reach there? Man, I'm not asking, man. You know how much people does contact I and I. Genuinely. I ain't bringing them out to put I ain't calling no name. I'm just showing you the reality so they don't feel like you're telling us people's business. I ain't telling you nobody's business. I telling you the planet's business. I telling you what's going on. Enough young man caught up in that. Enough young man caught up in that. Want to stop. You see, but you see, we afraid to talk about them little things there now. We don't want to talk about that. Because enough of us in that too. There have enough ones in that and want, like they're crying to get out. How it gets so hard to get out of that? That sounds like cocaine. Why? Because sexual energy is extremely powerful. It ain't nothing to play with. You see, earlier we made that equation with the hunger and the sexual urge. This is why fasting is ever so important. You see, when you learn to abstain from food, not starve yourself, but to abstain from the intake of liquid and solids on a certain level, whether you're eating once a day or you're eating once a day, but you're only eating raw foods, or you're on a different level of fasting, water fast, juice fast. But the discipline, the main thing is the discipline of the physical self, family. The discipline of the physical self when it comes to eating will assist you. This is a counseling here. Will assist you in the discipline of your sexuality. Because obviously, they have to have limitations to everything. And again, the sexual energy is strong. So strong. You can damage yourself, man and woman, in many, many ways. Number one, back to the pornography, that tear up your mind. Don't even get into the physical self yet. Because obviously, if you're on that and you're masturbating day in and day out, enough people live like that, Enough people live like that, draining their energy day in, day out as young brothers, sisters. That alone will affect and damage your sexual organs and the prostate gland, all of them things and problems. You think you might, you're young and you're buff and you have a little dragon tattoo on your left chest and, hey, all the girls like to see Mike. But hey, if you live to be 50, 40, the way you're going, Mike ain't going to be Mike anymore. Mike going to be he might gonna strike out because of the life that Mike has been cultured to live. And I have to say cultured, and I use this example all the time of a movie. I remember seeing this movie as a child. I always used to believe it was Eddie Murphy was the actor, but I think I came to realize somebody was telling me that it wasn't Eddie Murphy. But anyway, but I remember the movie though. And the character that I thought was Eddie Murphy, he's the star of the movie, whoever it was. And he end up, hear me, he end up amongst this African tribe. He's like a spy, you know. So the brothers them like say, hey, something not right here with him. Like a spy amongst us, man. So they line up the brothers, including him. Now remember, you know, they're not like clothed like that, you know. They wear beads on their ankles and they have a thing around their waist with some feathers. And of course, their bare chest and everything. Good. Look like, you know, some Maasai tribe, Mosi people. All right. So now the chief have some beautiful sisters parade in front of them. And you can see all the strong brothers standing up there in a line, looking straight forward with the spear in the hand. And the brother that's not really of them, that infiltrating them, you know, you can see he kind of looking left and right and wow, what's going on here? And then now, you would see his feather. Remember, they have feathers around them. And everybody's standing up. He's standing up too. But then his feathers, which is by his private part, begin to move. Huh? And then you see his feather just start to rise. So what does that mean? That means he getting an erection. Because the beautiful sister, and you know them sisters not fully dressed neither. They bare chested, everything perky and sticking out. I hope this program not too hard for you. I know some of you, oh my priest, this is priest my foot. Come on, man. This ain't no pretend clubbing, man. Let's get real. Especially when it comes to our children. Because some of us, we afraid them topic. Your own children will go astray. You don't want your children get lost in them worlds. You don't want your children go through what you go through. So get a grip and then grip them. This is the getting a grip thing. So the point is that he coming from a Western culture, because America he coming from. He coming from a Western culture trying to fake the funk. In here now, trying to pretend that he's amongst them, but he, you know what I mean, have some ulterior motive. The chief say, yeah, man, let's run a test. The chief run a King Solomon and him. And he stayed in, get an erection when all the beautiful women pass by. Now, that don't mean that the rest brothers impotent. Impotent. It just means, yeah, if you're impotent, you're not important anymore, you know, man. Yeah, you stay important. Yeah, stay important, not impotent. So then it's not that they're impotent. In fact, I am positive that their sexual machinery is well oiled and ready to go anytime when needed. But they have a different understanding. They know it wasn't needed. Not because they see their beautiful sisters parade in front of them mean they're going to stick it up. That's Western culture. Because you have to keep in mind, just observe the hieroglyphs. People will tell you, oh, in Africa, they never wear too much clothes. Now, that doesn't go for everybody. But of course, we know that there are different areas and tribes that move a different way. But it was not to promote sex. It was never to promote sex. Look at Nut and Hathor and all of these goddess of Kemet. All of them, you see them with their breasts sticking out. But nobody ever watched that and get no hard on. But you could watch the Disney Channel and they will have a bunny rabbit. Well, have a curved up like a woman. And even that would excite some of you. Don't be lying to me, yo. Don't be lying to me. Cartoons does be excited people. Not even cartoon people, you know. Cartoon wolf and dog and sexy looking chickens. And you watching that and your whole blood cycle moving because of that kind of stuff. Because of the pen and the paper and the ink and the paint. And knowing how to touch the different points of your brain. They draw a bunny rabbit, eh? A bird, an owl, all kind of foolishness they draw and give them the feminine look, oozing the sexual energy, and that captivate a black man. Now tell me I lying. You know I ain't making this up. And you see, this is the problem. Because who you hear talking about this? When last you hear this conversation? As raw as it come in here, and I don't even call this raw. This is, as I say, it's mellow moods. But where you hear it, nobody want to talk about it. People afraid to talk about them things. You know why? Guiltiness. You don't have to be guilty. Nobody perfect. Oh, my, been there, done that, Rasta. But in all honesty, you're right too. Because you have to have a certain level of conquering them kind of thing there to can talk about it. You know what I mean? On a certain level. But hey, when Gregory Isaac was still on crack, Gregory Isaac come out and sing hard drugs. So you don't have to be a recovered addict to come and give lectures on it. You understand? Let's put it that way, because hard drugs is a lecture. I wonder if you're following me, I am. Hard drugs is a lecture, isn't it? Yeah. But I'm just trying to show you that in ancient Africa, although the woman in certain parts would move, so you see it, even the gods and goddesses are seen like that, but nobody watch that and get that kind of feeling. Why? Because it wasn't made with that energy. The person that draw them didn't draw it for you to get kicks off of. The breast that's expressed is to show motherhood and nurtureship. That's what it is. You know, it's not there for you to, you know what I mean, drooling at your mouth. But the cartoons, puppets, and all sorts of things, they draw puppet, all Miss Piggy and all them foolishness. And the thing nasty, man. But this is what I'm showing you. What I'm talking about is what they study and what they know. So they know what chord to touch by putting this on the screen. They do it in the clothes. The tight jeans they give the woman to wear. All of this thing is to constantly keep you sexually aroused. They're keeping you sexually aroused, plus they're killing your sexuality. Let me repeat it. They're keeping you sexually aroused while they're killing and damaging your sexuality. Okay, you know Rastafari. Rastafari woman does move modestly. All of them may not move the same. Just African tradition alone. You know, they just like to pull out the people in the inner jungle that maybe and they only go vibes. But we know that's not how Africans move. Go to Ghana, go to among these great kingdoms, you see the woman well covered. You can't really see nobody's shape. You understand? You might have an idea, but you see her covered. So you see the beauty of the woman in her beautiful covering, not there to entice you, but you just admire her beauty. Even your own wife. Even your own wife. Even your own wife. When you see a wife derobe for you, and you freshly observe her form, just like the man that get out of the wheelchair, it adds to the moment, But you see, we live in a world now that they have dressed our woman for us. So you just simply on the corner of the city streets any given day, and it's just like a sex parade walking up and down, fashion show, nude modeling. I mean, come on, where you live? Where do you live? Man, all you see passing up and down, especially if you are a man, and I am more in the head of a man now, especially if you are a man. As you can see, I talk straight. I listen. I don't. You see, this is why I like to say. And sometimes people feel I just get away, and I too personal. I don't know who personal. I don't call people names. I'm personal because I bring you into my own house. You check it. That's how personal I am. I'm speaking here, and I'm not stuttering or fumbling. I just talking clear. I tell you, my children here, my empress here, and I talking clear. You hear? I bring you. It says I bring you here, make you know. Even though it's radio, I'm making you know what's going on behind the scenes because this is a real subject. If we don't address them kind of things, is a whole generation gone. Remember, sex is spirituality, you know. People call demon and so with sex in them, man. Sex ain't not to be playing around with, and I'm purposely using the term sex. Not making love. It is making love when it's done the right way. You're actually making love. You are creating love. Especially if you're making a life, it's love you're making there. But the six, because sex is six. The mark of the beast. It's like eating food. There's nothing wrong with eating food. But eating food has become a sin now. You know, all the restaurants around there, which one of them you would eat from? Exactly. Very few, if any at all. What could be wrong? Because eating food, which is a natural good thing, has been misused and abused till people eat anything now. Even that which was not made to be eaten. Is the same thing with sexual intercourse. And as you can see, we keep balancing eating and food and all of that with it because it's the staff of life. It's a necessity. It's a creation of God. So there's nothing wrong with sexual intercourse, but sexual intercourse has become sinful, just like eating food. It was created by the Almighty, by creation itself, by the universe, to be sweet and to be pleasurable. Enough people don't get pleasure out of it, but they get a bit of the sweetness. So they always go back for it. It's like a drug, you know, like trying to get that, you know. But trust thy family. In the spiritual realm, this is a very pleasurable thing. And because you understand the holiness of it, you deal with it with respect, with proper timing, and approach it, you know, again, with a level of respect and discipline. That's why holy people and those who try to be holy will fast. You hear us talk about the Lent and certain things put down on the Lenten season. Just like food is not starving yourself, you know, but you have to moderate it now, definitely. And you can, I mean, that's something you can go without for how long, man. But you gotta be disciplined because it's not food. But you gotta be disciplined. I always tell brothers, and you gotta find a time to be a monk, yo. Even if you're married, you have to find a time to be a monk. Like the Lenten period, that's monk season. That's when you become a monk. You live the monk life. Yeah, man, you can take a year off and be a monk. Come on, what's wrong with that? And the woman become a nun for a year. You can make that decision. This ain't no time for no eternal monk, you know. This is the time to raise children. But you have to still keep that discipline within yourself. So the natural urge that is within, you know, you can't even say it's like a beast, because even the beasts have a proper rhythm. The lion and the lioness, they're around, yeah. But there's a time for that, maybe a couple months. And when it's time, they spend time together, maybe several days, and then that's it for next several months to come. The lion and the lioness not going to just happen to get turned on spontaneously and then say, hey, let's go in the bush. It don't work so. Animals don't really behave, not even the dog. We like to call people dog and oh, she's a this and that. Not even the dog. If it's anybody that's a dog, it's us. Even the dog has a season and a time where it practices that. So again, because we have taken morality, discipline, and even a respect out of the art of sexual, not just intercourse, but just the sexual energy and spirit, which is the spirit of life. It is the spirit of life. That's what made every human being. So, brothers, consider the power of your semen and your sperm. When you bag it up and wrap it up and flush it down the toilet and so, that's what them things they say. That's a sin there. Remember the scripture in the Bible, the man that was of the family of Judah, when God tell him to go to this woman, take up his brother's wife, something of the sort, his brother died. And the Bible say, and raise unto her children. Say when he was ready to copulate or to ejaculate, he spilled the seed on the floor. That's in the Bible. And he said that God killed him one time. Now, even if you put it in the metaphor aspect, the point is, you may be saying, but how much time I don't do that? No God ever come kill me. I understand. But you see, the semen and the sperm, the semen of the man is rich, rich. I wonder if you could stomach a lot of things that I'm going to say here. When I say rich, rich like how you can eat it, rich. Wow, okay, sir. Hold on, come on, hold on, man. I ain't gonna tell nobody to eat that. I will tell you to eat that. Just cool out, man. Just listen to me. That people that drink their own pee, Conscious people that's be reasoning. People of the conscious community, I can call the name. Look, I don't want to go on. Anyway, I'll call their names because it's not like I upset. I just showing you, and I know they would be upset. Phil Valentine promote that. Couple other ones, man, especially of that level, they would tell you, yeah, man, survive, drink your pee, and all of that. And all of that. But don't get in the sense of maybe a survival tactic, That's a good first option. Yeah. And other things people talk about. Right. Now, just like the other day, myself and the Honorable Empress Naya speaking about the placenta in certain practices of that of a doula, and so people eat the placenta, man. You get they can even put it in capsule and eat it. The placenta, the baby that born. Again, I ain't gonna encourage nobody to do that neither. Animals do that. What's my point? The point I'm making is that there are different customs around the place. And I'm telling you, just that people drink cow blood and other people's blood, not just because they feel they're vampires, no, but they say that it's rich. No, I am telling you that your sperm is very rich, very nutritious. It is. It is. And all you may be saying, man, priest, come on, stop talking that I don't want to hear. Well, honestly, I don't really, it's not like I have kicks, keep saying this, but it's a point I make it. So this culture now of having the woman open her mouth so that the man can spill his semen in there, it may sound like if it's just, but it coming from somebody's culture. It coming from before now. It has just been put in theatrical expression. Yeah. I wonder how much people can really take them conversation, yeah. Bob Marley have a song, You're running and you're running and you're running away. But you can't run away from yourself. So you see, this is why when you release the semen, in many cases, the man will just fall asleep. That is why some will tell you should practice semen retention, where you don't release it. Some are for and some are against that. Some believe the fact that you stir it up and activate it, it should come out. But if you are a studier of these things, or you study these things properly, actually when your sexual energy as a man would rise to that level and it doesn't come out, it actually empowers you. In other words, when you release, you're almost gone to sleep then. Actually empowers you. That's the power, again, of sexual energy. And the semen is liquid sexual energy. When you release the semen, everything gone dead, and so, in most cases. That's why when the semen build up, that also, assist in the urge. The semen, the building up of the semen tickles you and assists in the urge. Some monks and Buddhists that sit in hot water have their testicles in hot water to kill sperm. Sexual energy is what creates life. That's why the semen will have so much minerals in it. Obviously. That's why you can create life. So the enemy clearly understands this here. And the enemy knows that we are a people that has lost a certain level of discipline. It's like having a gun, man. A gun. A disciplined man can have a gun. A disciplined man, you can be around a disciplined man with a firearm and feel very comfortable, obviously. But you can't put a gun in the hand of anybody. No, man, man, the stories we can talk about there, you can't just give anybody a gun. Next thing, pow! What happened there? I think I see something move in the bush. Yeah, boy, you can't do that. That's when the gun in the hand of anybody. But when it's in the hand of, a person that know what they're doing, you can feel comfortable and confident that they know what they're doing. So it's about us knowing how to handle the power that we have. And the gun analogy is the right analogy too, because it'll be busting shots for real. Yeah, firing shots. So we have to know how to conceal our shots too. So the discipline of the mind is very key. Because what I was saying earlier now about them playing with your sexuality while killing it is this. As I said, in the moment when even the woman would expose herself, even the man too, to each other, there's a height that comes in when you see her form, especially if she usually is covered up. All of that is a part of the science. But you see, we live in a world, again, where you constantly get titillated, whether it be through vision or whether it be through the clothes they give you. You see, the thing is, a man more gets motivated through what he sees. a woman would get motivated or even turned on, if you want to say, through touch. And the touch for the turn on of the woman is not just physical touch alone, but on the physical self, that's really what it is. I mean, don't get me wrong, a woman can see, and wow. But when a man sees, it's a different see. The man more so than the woman, with his vision, ready to go. Woman too, but the touch for the woman is the more the thing. In fact, even before you touch her with your hands, if you can touch the woman without touching her, good to go. I know some people listen and say, hey, please what? Just take your notes and let's move on. But it's real. It's a reality. You understand? So all of that is within the science. So as I said, with the way the system have it now, is that you just standing there, one sister pass, she have on her Catwoman suit, you can see all her farm, everything, crack, everything, nipples, everything. Next woman pass, she have on oh, can I use these terms here? Them pum pum shorts or batty ride or something, some short shirt and they do everything to themselves so you can self-see what they have to offer. Okay, before they leave home, they turn their back to the mirror and make sure everything is in order. So remember, it's not they dress themselves. Somebody dress them. Somebody tell them to wear this because they know when they wear this, how it would affect you. So day in, day out, man, you just on it like, wow, and you're just seeing it up and down. So, your sexuality is, yeah. There's a natural turn on. Yeah, wow, yeah. That's just what it is. That's the culture we live in now. That's the culture we live in now. All right. But what that does as well is that it is slowly but surely numbing that natural sexual connection. This is why I said again, when the woman derobe for the man at the end of the day there, even though you know how she looks already, it's just like a new beginning. But if that's how you've seen her all day long, not that it would still entice you when the time comes, but it's nothing fresh, it's nothing new. So unnaturally, what is happening around us is that there's this constant feed of sexual impulse, not in the way they make the young or the woman dress in general, but down to the commercial. If they're selling you a car, a woman in a bathing suit got to be kneeling next to it. Imagine your little a baby bathing suit, not baby suit. Imagine your little baby in the back of the car, and you're driving. Let's say you're going to the supermarket and you're in the traffic, and your little baby in the pram, or not the pram, but the baby seat, the car seat, just looking out the window. You listening to the radio, you and maybe the husband in front, and you're talking, and the baby behind sucking on the bottom, just looking out the window. And the baby is seeing an advertisement, let's just say for a beer. A big poster of beer. You know how they make these posters, these billboards now, big billboard. You waiting for the traffic light and the baby looking out. And the baby see this big bottle of beer and this naked woman leaning on the beer. Or if it's a stout, one of them Magnum stout, then the woman sitting on the Magnum stout like she riding a bike and all the thing oozing out of the bottle like if it's froth coming down. A little baby watching that. Nothing wrong with that, If you see it on TV, maybe you say, oh, lock it off. You don't want her to see that. But it's just right in front of us. So already from that age, just the surroundings, just around you, like a child in school, nobody hotter than the teacher. Real hot too in her little red miniskirt dress. Rasta is a system. I ain't come to play with your head. I tell you already, who gonna come and talk like this? Who can come and speak it? So we're afraid to have any round table discussion on these different things. The control of your sexual energy A lot of these things is what lead to domestic violence, to the control of the sexual energy, and then learn how to enhance it and utilize it for much more powerful things. When you come together in lovemaking, Rasta, it's a spiritual thing. It's a time of prayer. It's a time to affirm what you desire to be manifested. Even the moment of ejaculation and when that spirit is released is a moment when portals are open. But nobody teach us these things. Nobody tell us them kind of things here. And because just like how the sperm is so rich, that's how the spiritual energy is so rich. That if we're not disciplined, we can't control that. No way you can control. You will cheat on your wife, your woman, your girlfriend. You'll get caught up in pornography. You will get addicted to masturbation just because the energy is so strong and we're not disciplined. Nobody teach us, and we never even take the time to learn. That's why I ever give thanks for King Emmanuel Adi. You hear this? That's why I give thanks for King Emmanuel Adi. I'm not up here in front of you like, well, this is Mr. Perfect is in the house now, this. My slate is clean and oh, you unholy tall. I would say, this is one thing I tell you for sure. I try my best to live okay, let's be straight there, eh? So I don't make it sound like I going around the bush. I like what we're talking about here tonight. So you understand. Yeah, with hard work, man, conquer them things there. But these are things to be conquered because we grew up in a society where we ain't got no assistance. Even if you have a father, even your father don't sit you down and really drill you. My parents never teach me nothing about no sex. I learned that some other way. And I have good parents, but that part didn't reach them. I learned that some other how. So you don't want that to happen to your children. You have to sit down and explain the world to them. And all this LGBTQ and all of that. Because that is a part of that sexual energy too, How you be homosexual is not, the name is right there. Sexual is something that it's right, the forbidden sex. God didn't design that one day. They forced themselves into that. There's you don't have no excuse for that one day. The urge. You see the urge, there's an urge. According to the Bible, when David saw Solomon's mother, this is the great King Solomon, the lineage of Christ. When he saw Solomon's mother bathing, them times Solomon's mother wasn't his woman. Solomon wasn't born as yet. David saw her, the wife of Uriah, Bathsheba, bathing. And Uriah was one of his soldiers. And when he saw her, David, the king of Israel, the man after the heart of God, that's what the Bible says. David go and tell his general, hey, put Uriah in the front of the battle so that he can die, so I can get his wife. And when David hear the man dead, David called for the man's wife and sleep with his wife. And God wasn't pleased with that. And the child that David bore for her died. And then the next child lived. You know who that child be? Well, I don't know if it was the next one, but it was King Solomon. Yeah, it was the next one. Great King Solomon of the lineage with Christ and Haile Selassie and all of it. Yeah. That's Solomon's mother, the wife of a next man that David took and make the man die so he can get his wife. And this idea came to him when he saw the man's wife bathing. Now you may say, oh, just a Bible story, not yo. Just like the Michael Jackson video, when the man get up in the wheelchair. I'm trying to show how powerful sexual energy is. Again, brothers, you can't tell me that cases is only after you release and you ejaculate. You said to yourself, I wish I didn't do that. Yeah, how come? Because again, that's why I show you the sperm connected to your brain. The sperm have to hit your brain before it come out. It's a kind of mystic science. It touch your brain. That's why your sperm will release with your thoughts. That's why you have to have good thoughts. Yeah. So it's a powerful meditation. That is why, the sexual energy now control your thoughts. So you have your wife at home and you know that. And it's not that you're an evil person, but for whatever reason, this energy just blocked that. But when you ejaculate, something just hits you. Just like it drains something and you say, wow, oh my, shouldn't have done that. So you can't take the energy for granted. We just overlook it and pretend we don't know about it and yes, and everything all right. It's not all right. How many of us have control over it? I'm not saying you're cheating on your wife. I'm just saying that if it's not even something you're thinking about, we're in bad state. The same Bible, David have a son. I think the son, it might have been Adonijah, one of them. But David had a son that wanted to sleep with his own daughter. I think Absalom did kill him. Not his own daughter, his own sister, David's daughter. So David's son wanted to sleep with David's sister. Let me start over. David's son wants to sleep with David's daughter, which is his sister. All right. So he even goes as far as ask David for that. And David say, yo, what you deal with, yo? No, you can't sleep with her. Man, yo, I might be acting a bit there. I don't think they had the same mother. So you may say, but they have cases of that. They do have cases of all them things in the Bible that appears to be right in the sight of the Lord. But anyway, so he not getting the blessings from the family to go with his sister. And he find a way to lure his sister into his place. I think he pretend he was sick and say, yo, he want her to come bake a bread for him or some cake. And when she come in, he asked the guards to lock the door. And he forced himself on her. Now, before I go there, before he wanted to lie with her, right? He said he loved her. How he loved her. And she loved. And his marry her. And diamonds and pearls. And a whole heap of this and that. And picket fence and garage. He loved her. Yeah. The moment he lay down with her and he ejaculated according to the Bible, instantly he hated her. Instantly he hated her. How so? Just so? So wait, what happened to all them? I can imagine her. Just so? What happened to all them sweet words? Yeah. But anyway, it wasn't that humorous because it didn't go down good. The clothes she wore that showed her virginity, she discarded it. So that's what I was saying earlier. In certain African culture, you can, when a woman going through certain things. They know when a woman going through her period just because of maybe what they put on, the flag they flying, etc., etc. So the fact that she lost her virginity, she made it known by changing her clothes. And when the man find out that's what she do, her brother Absalom, the man gonna deal with him. Or that's what he did to her. They went and dealt with him. But I'm just trying to show you now how that energy can move aside even rational thinking. And you as a man, you have to be conscious of that. Don't be afraid. Don't be ashamed. Just admit it. The energy does be strong that it can move away rational thinking. So you have to be able to hey, listen, it take a lot, but you have to be able to can control that energy there. As old people say, no, hey, every man have two head, a big head and a little head. You can't make the little head control the big head. I wonder if you follow me. You can't make the little head control the big head. The big head's supposed to control the little head. And that's it. Now it's easier than saying, you know you have to go work, or you know you have to do this, and yeah, forget about that, do that later. It's more than that. It's more than that. Man, sometimes make work wait, man. That's not what I'm telling you. It's more than that. What I'm telling you is that with the little stories I give you, and you, not just as a man and a woman too, you understand that when the sexual energy rise up in you, again, it has a lot of authority over even the way you think. You got to recognize that. And if there's something in you that you just lose your thought until you release, and then you come back to your senses, no, man, you need to check that. Of course. Okay. Prime example. As I said earlier, ones would contact I and they have problem with the same pornography and masturbation. Sometimes I just wonder why is how a man think but I would have done videos on it really. And then videos that I would have done and programs I would have done on that years ago is because of the same thing, people come to me. And one of the things they would tell me is that, man said they masturbate every day. Just think of that. If I tell you why I just tell them, man, you go laugh. I said, man, you need to get a woman boss. Yeah. Straight up, but anyway. I say, oh my God. Let me, oh man, you can't be doing that every day. What they say when they're done, they're always upset with themselves. They're not upset when they're doing it, but when they're done, when it's done, when they release the energy, they vex. Them is scientific studies. That's to show the power of sexual energy. It create life, It create life. When the man spill it on the ground, God come and break his neck. Not only does it create life, but it within itself is a spiritual thing. Open portals. It can call in angels, and it can call in otherwise than angels. And mostly it call in otherwise. That's what this world is all about. That is why they promote pornography and all of these smutty things on such a high. Because they clearly understand how to summon demons. So the same tool, which is sexual intercourse, will summon the demons. Just as if done correctly, with the right mind, with the right understanding, summons holy iris, spirits, ancestors. But again, in very, very, very few cases, that is taking place. Oh, beautiful, my brother. Yes, Roy, I want to give that for, your patience with us this evening. As I said earlier, it is just a slight technical difficulty we're having here with the radio co setup here. So the program was slightly different this evening, almost like a little lecture that we gave. But as I said, the subject area is nothing to run from. I don't even think I went into the fullness of it because the title was really Temptation and Lust. And of course, as you could see, I think maybe I would have to change the title because we really went into the whole aspect of the sexual energy more than anything else, and then kind of dovetail into that science there, from that science into the lust. But I don't think we really went anywhere into the temptation part of it. But of course, some of the time we can go there. I think this was a very nutritious program. And again, don't be afraid of these discussions, you know, and this is necessary for yourself, your family, your children. Do not leave them out of this. Please don't put them in the dark. This is not something to run into. This is something to be understood. You comprehend? And this is why, let's just be straight. We don't talk about these things. We prefer to talk about all the other subject areas, you know. And we're always ramping and raging, and sometimes we hear man angry and a woman always and I did a lot of that is sexual energy and sexual scars. Yeah. Sexual energy is a big thing in there. Big thing. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that for tonight, and I think we will continue that at another moment. I'm going to full enjoy some dinner here, and with my royal family in righteousness and holiness, and continue to observe the moon that is still in its fullness, you know. So I did have something lined up here for you. We're going to continue with that discussion there. Marcus Garvey, Haile Selassie. And I just pray all is well with you, family. Give thanks to the life giver, the keeper of life. As I said, prepare yourself for the summer, the winter solstice experience. I'm talking about December. What date is it? Around the 16th, I think it is, to the 22nd. Yes, so make sure you put yourself in order. You know what to do. We talk about this all the time. But anyway, we'll set aside a time when we give you some more details. There's so many things, but until give thanks, it takes some to realize the real lies that are amongst us. Love in the house, family. Give thanks for your presence with us. Holy Manuel I, Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari. Yes.